So we'll make a start. Hi, my name's Phil. I'm the executive producer at TT Games. Has anyone played anything from LEGO Worlds before? No? Brilliant. It's all new and fresh. So LEGO Worlds is actually on Steam at the moment on early access. The reason we've done that is this is a game we've never made before. It's completely different. Not only just kind of what you do in the world, but also how the engine works. So everything in the game is made of LEGO, and as a result, you can react with everything in the world. So you can drop objects in, you can build brick by brick. So if you want to build a massive mansion, you can do that piece by piece. But there's also landscaping tools, so you can really manipulate the environment. You can dig holes, you can build pyramids, volcanoes. Really go to town not only on what you're doing in the world, but the world itself. So it's all brand new tech that we've never used before. So what we've got to do is, when people kind of have a play, because this really is a game where you learn most by playing around with it. If you're playing on a controller, press on the Y button, this brings up the menu, and that allows you to kind of set various things. So on there's a thing called the Discovery tool, which is on the right-hand side. So that allows you to spawn in objects. For this demo, we've actually given you a whole load of things straight off the bat, so you don't have to worry about unlocking any of it. And then you can drop in creatures, things like that. So that's the one on the right. So if you tap the Y button now, that brings up the menu, and this is where you can select the various objects and things like this. There's also the landscaping tool, so that allows you to manipulate the world, so you can carve big chunks out of it, you can build volcanoes, things like that, you can put new bricks down. And then there's also the brick building tool, and the inventory. So the inventory is where you get your weapons, you've got guns, you've got people guns, you've got guitars, lots of things to have fun with. So what I'll do is I'll leave you guys to kind of get hands on. If you've got any questions or want to know anything, information about anything at all, feel free to let me know. But this is the Gamescom build, so it's slightly different to what's available at the moment. One thing that it can do, but we can't actually play it here because the network's not good enough, we have 4-player online co-op. So you can build your own world and 3 friends can come join you.
I was trying to figure out how to do it the other day.
Yeah. It's tricky. Yeah. It's one of these things that I mean, some people make absolutely amazing things from it, but it kind of comes from if you've got that creative element, I think. I use the pre-built stuff all the time. So,
yeah.
You can drop a castle in and then build on top of that. So use that as your starting point and then manipulate it. So if you press B, and again, press it from Y, Discovery tools, so I think the right hand side is a big cannon, and then tap Y. So this is where you get the pieces. So if you build something like, you can start off with that, like, palace, and then build around that.
How do you discover you can obviously discover your
So we wanted some, it's not just about building and creating. So when you first start off, you have a whole load of bits that you can use, but as you explore, you then get to unlock more, and there's actually quests you need to do. So for example, you'll find a king, and the king will want a gold sword. So you then have to go hunting around chests until you find a gold sword. Once you find the sword, you can give it back to the king. He'll then unlock and be part of your team, and then you can turn it to whoever you use it. We have things like there's a dragon, so to get the dragon, you need to give it a dragon egg. To get the dragon egg, you need to find the dark wizard. You beat the dark wizard, you get the egg, take the dragon. There's a cowgirl who wants you to take a picture of a horse, so a white horse. So you have to go hunting the world, use the camera to take a photo, then go back to that and show on that character. So there's different kind of ways that you can do it. Some of them are just you find them in the world. If you find a plant, it goes here's the plant. Some of them are you get as well.
Is the main objective of exploring the place or building the place? Is there a storyline that which unlocks the next
It's not like so much a story, but it is that kind of the exploration side of things. So when the world's randomly generated. So when it first starts off, you sit there, just keep hitting regenerate until you find a body which would be a starter. You then start exploring, and that's when you realise, okay, so I'm in the forest zone. And if I go up in that direction, I end up in snowy mountains. So when you're in snowy mountains, there's new items like new characters, these things that you need to see. So it kind of works with both. So as people are building up their world, they'll want to encounter fun things, characters. about 2/3 way down, there should be a dragon. Yep, fire dragon, so you press A on that. So you can drop him in, and if you press B, you can then jump into battle with that bump up.
It reminds me a bit of Minecraft.
Yeah, so we get those comparisons, but it's kind of fun because we see that when people actually start playing it and start manipulating, the more they use it, the creatures, the vehicles, you can kind of see the big differences between them. It's one of these things that the more more time you spend with it, the more kind of depth there is to what you're interacting with. I mean, I still sit there and there's still things that I see that I didn't know the team had actually done. So we have procedurally generated towns now. So as you're exploring, you find a town with roads and civilians walking around. So there's things like cops and robbers. So if a robber's walking down the town and the policeman sees him, the policeman will chase after him, which is a bad guy. And then we're eventually going to introduce things like the robber will actually go to the bank, rob the bank and run off, and then the police officers will chase him. So we want this kind of being sort of like a bit of a living world with stuff happening. We have a day-night cycle. When it actually goes to night, the street lights turn on. But it's not like they all just go bing and turn on straight away. They pop on individually. And it was just like the team wanted it like that because that's what happens in the real world. You walk down the street lights don't instantly switch on. They kind of pop on over time. So there's little kind of bits and pieces like that. I mean, I still see things I didn't actually know was it.
Someone's building.
Yeah, so someone decided to build a tower using some very, very perfect bricks.
Having some like hot world and stuff with
No, you can kind of regenerate the world or whatever. Like using this damage, we're not kind of particular percentages. And on a couple of pages, people kind of manipulate and destroy everything, but you kind of see a lot of stuff very, very early on. Never switch to start. So just Steam Early Access for the time being, so no kind of announcements or anything like that. Steam Early Access is working really well for us because of the nature of this being new. We genuinely listen to feedback that people are coming with. So for example, we had no intention of doing a first person camera, but the community was like going, actually it should be really useful, we'd love to have first person, so we've added it now, so it's very early in the implementation, but it is there. Yeah, so if you go to the settings menu, camera access settings, and then see it says camera mode, so change it to first person, and then go down, you need to accept that one and the next one.
So is the already updated by packs, they go through the packs, or will they be
We'll still be adding bits and pieces, we'll still be adding content. We're at this moment kind of now where we're still in early access, and to be honest, we're still going to be in early access come 2017 because we're still adding content, we're still trying to figure out exactly how much we can get into this game. So yeah, once we actually go into release, whatever that means, these days, we're still going to be adding stuff, we're still going to be making changes. Yeah, it's a very different kind of setting compared to kind of having a game, putting it out and saying, right, that's that product done. This is something that we're going to be investing in over time because it's just the nature of people want to see the titles. And it's great for us as well because we get to kind of new stuff that they're going to produce as well. So new sets, new buildings, there's something we've built to the game as well.
cool that you've got
Yeah, it's funny. Like I say, I'm terrible at building, but using the terraforming tool, being able to dig out things like that, do something that actually feels quite rewarding quite quickly.
Yeah.
So with the discovery tool as well, if you're on the character selection, you can actually switch to those characters so you take control of them as well. So if you bring the different customizable tool, so now we tap one, that goes to the character that's on left, and then any one of those, if you press X on it rather than A, you select, you turn into that character. And the characters have different abilities. So if you select something like a vampire, you can turn into a bat and fly off. If you select a minotaur, if you run in a straight line, you can then smash into Lego objects. Yeah, so that's the customizer is a little bit broken, which is the kind of if you use the X and selection tool.
Is there, you talked about there being quests?
Yeah.
Is there a storyline as well, or is it just find your own way and find your own?
Yeah, so less of a story. So yeah, it's more the kind of quests and exploration and that kind of thing. Like, we kind of toyed with the idea, but the idea of saying, okay, there's a big bad guy and he's doing something and you're trying to stop it, kind of, it kind of hampered it because some of the fun is people actually making their own stories, especially with the addition of the multiplayer. Like people sit there going, well, I'm going to make a base and you're going to have to come and attack me. We're going to sit there to make our own town and then lay waste to it on dragons and things. So yeah, the quests are kind of like the progression, if you will, but there's no kind of set story of good versus evil.
What's the core loop? How do I get more, I guess, blueprints or objects I can build?
So the bricks and the terraforming tool, you get given all straight away at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
The objects, so like things like the paintball gun, the ice lollies, things like that, they're things you find within the world. Once you find them, the very first time you find them, you use studs to purchase them. So the first time you put a set of flowers down, it costs you 200 studs. Once you've done that once, it's then free, so you can then put as many down as you like. So the studs are kind of like the unlocked currency. That's pretty cool. Slightly concerned about having someone's signature. We don't actually. Something we considered is because we have online, you'll have the same things. And then we kind of wanted to show characters have personality as well, which isn't something that you can kind of program. So when you make character police officer, they're always going to be good. So the characters don't actually talk, they don't have speech as such. So when you find a police officer, you know it's a police officer. So he'll just do good things and straight up around. Whenever you find a werewolf, it's always the werewolf. But yeah, there's never been to kind of if they have personality to create your own quests or anything. So the quests are kind of that's not much.
So you go like mine for resources to craft something, you get the currency out of destroying structures and stuff like that.
Yes, so the the unlock currency, yeah, the studs you get from smashing Lego objects. Yeah, for the creating, for the building, we decided we didn't want a currency because it'd be really frustrating if you sat there trying to build a full mansion and you run out of bricks and you can't find them. So Lego building and the kind of terraforming tools, they're all available from the beginning with no kind of limits. You can just build where you want straight away.
Yeah.
So I mentioned the whole world we've made out of Lego. If you're on one of flying creatures that fly up, you'll actually find clouds, and the clouds are made of Lego as well. So you can then build castles in the sky. So if you want your home base or town to be in the center of the clouds, you can do that. And about a month and a half, 2 months ago, we added underwater as well. So you can go to the water, you can drop in a deep sea submarine or jump on the back of a shark and explore underneath. And there's kind of ruins and stuff to find there as well.
We just smash it.
So some of them you can just break open. Some of them have kind of a requirement that you need to use. So you need to find something to unlock it. So if you try punching that one. So that was just an open up one.
Did I get
big stud bonus. So it's chests like that that you'll find things like the gold sword to give to the king.
I like that you can climb anything. The New Zelda did a lot for me in that regard as well.
Yeah, we had this idea that when you randomly generating worlds, you can get something that's a sheer rock face. So we decided, you know what, it'd just be cool if you could climb that and go straight to the top. There's also things like just there actually, there's the grapple gun. So you can use the grapple gun to shoot it up to a higher area and drag you up there. Yeah, which you can, if you drop in something like a whole load of Minotaurs, grab the guitar and start playing it, they will start dancing.
It's always been a thing as a child. You always imagined what it would be like to climb up a huge structure or a tree, or what if I could get on that house, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's that kind of thing that it's one of the first things that people seem to do is they'll start dropping in items and then they'll start building a tower or a bridge or something. And just get as high as you can to kind of see what the world does. If there's a model that you build and you're actually particularly proud of, so say if you build a cool bridge or a house or something, there's a tool in there called the box tool where you can encase that model, export it out, manipulate bricks individually if you want as well, and then save it so that you can then come back and drop that model back in. So you go, actually I was on the house like 2 weeks ago, it starts to build it.
It seems that everyone wants to attack me. Everybody wants to attack me. Skeletons, mummies, cowboys.
It's because you're a pirate riding a husky. I think everyone's upset with you. So yeah, there's a kind of like the various characters kind of have a flag as to whether they're a good guy or a bad guy. So the pirate being a bit notorious, not many people like him because he steals everyone's treasure.
I think I broke.
So if you press and hold Y, select the discovery tool on the right hand side, and then tap Y, and then there's a characters thing at the top left. If you select a character and press X instead of A, you actually switch to that character, so it's another way to change who you want to be.
So the world is infinite?
So It's not quite. So if you imagine a stud, it used to be 30,000 studs long from point A to point B, but it's actually much bigger than that now because we keep optimizing so we can make that bigger and bigger. And that's only in kind of one direction as well because you also have the depth, so you can dig into caves and fly up to the sky. So I mean, we're still working out exactly how big it's going to end up, but it's not strictly infinite, but it's huge. So, awesome. Cheers.